Hello Aries, and welcome to Ruby Rose Tarot. So excited to have you here with me today. If you can't tell, I am getting over a very nasty head cold. It has just kind of knocked me out for a while. And I apologize beforehand for a little coughing, sniffling, and every now and then I get a little out of breath. So I apologize, but I am here and we are going to get your 2019 December reading done, your forecast. This is a general reading, so some things may resonate with you, some may not. Sometimes you go back and you listen to it after the month has happened and you're like, ooh, yeah, that happened. So just be aware of that. Also, if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you like what you're hearing and you want to hear more, you can hit the subscribe button. For those returning, I'm doing a little something different. I'm not doing the astrological overview. I think I'm going to do a general overview for the whole month, astrologically wise. And I will bring some of it in, but I'm just not going to focus. I'm not going to do an overview like I did before. We're just going to get down and dirty and into the cards. So with that said, away we go. All right, guys. The big thing for you this month is that Mars is going to enter. When does Mars enter? Mars is in Scorpio. No, I think it's at the end of the month. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little fuzzy still. But Mars enters Scorpio, and that's good for you because Mars is exalted in Scorpio, and you will benefit from that extra energy. Mars used to be considered the ruling planet of Scorpio, and he still is in Vedic astrology, and a long time ago, and he still is in some respects still the ruler of Scorpio. It's just now Pluto is seen more as the ruler of Scorpio. But Pluto wasn't discovered for many years, so until Pluto was discovered, it was Mars. So you're going to be feeling good. Your ruling planet is in a sign that he's exalted in. He's in he's in a place where he's feeling really good. And you're going to benefit. You're totally going to benefit from that. On top of that, on the 2nd of, the other big thing, on the 2nd of December, Jupiter enters Capricorn. That's a whole video in itself, but what you should know is that Jupiter expands everything, and he's in Capricorn, and Capricorn is about ambition and career. And although that's good, Jupiter is a little hamstrung by the fact that Saturn is also in Capricorn. So what's interesting is Saturn likes to expand, Jupiter likes to expand, but Saturn likes to contract. So you have these two energies in the same house that are slightly competing with each other, and they're both of equal power, right? Saturn and Jupiter are both the big boys, and so neither one of them are going to budge. So their energy is constantly combating. So there can be times during this transit that you're going to want to expand, and then you're going to want to contract. I'm going to go do this, and you're all going to come, and the next day, I don't know if I can do that. Maybe I really need to rethink about that. So it's not unlikely that you're going to have these contrasting energies. The other thing you should be aware of with Jupiter, although he does expand everything, which everyone's like, oh yeah, he expands money, he expands career, he can also expand negativity. He can expand things that if you haven't worked on stuff, he can also expand that. So if you're feeling really negative or you're feeling really pessimistic, he will expand that. And that's not something that you want to have expanded, right? You have to be aware of your law of attraction. So with that said, I do want to say with Mars in Scorpio, you may just feel a surge of energy. Make sure that you're getting out, you're expending that energy, because when Aries does not expend the energy that they have, they get a little bit grumpy and snappy. And so make sure you're going to feel extra energy this month. So really make sure that you're expending that extra energy, because otherwise it's going to come out in negative aspects. Cool. All right. So I pulled an energy oracle card. I always pull an energy oracle card, and then I pull 6 tarot cards that kind of help me see the month. And if I have to, which often happens, if I need clarification on anything, I'll pull a few extra tarot cards just to clarify a few things. So what was really interesting was, astrologically wise, it's looking like you guys are having a fantastic month. And then I pulled this energy oracle card, and I got number 8, which is indecision. I was like, ugh. And I don't think it's, this card looks a little gloomy, but it's not gloomy. I absolutely, when I pulled this, I actually totally knew what it is. I absolutely feel like you're being, and it could happen with this energy. There's such a surge of energy that you are feeling a little overwhelmed with excitement on what you want to do. I want to go after this project. I want to do this. I want to do that. So you may be having some indecision on how you want to spend that money, or not that money, but how the career path that you want to take, or business decisions that you want to do. And maybe I'll go with my first thing, spend money. It could be that too. There may be a big project or an expansion in your business or some kind of thing that you were very nervous about. So I feel like this month you may be really influenced by that. Jupiter and Saturn both being in Capricorn, and you want to expand, but then there's also that contraction. That's not actually a bad thing, right? Aries, you guys can be very, very impulsive, all the Aries I know, and I love them dearly, there's such power. There's such amazing power with Aries. At the same time, you can definitely shoot first and ask questions later. And you can sometimes really hurt people in your need to move and push forward and make decisions, and you don't always care about the casualties that you leave behind until later on. And then you have to do a little fence mending. You have to go back and repair some bridges that you have burned. And that's kind of coming up in your cards a little bit as well. That was the energy I was channeling, was Aries, you're going to have this influx of energy this month. You're going to have to make sure that you're not doing a slash and burn Sherman to the sea. Okay, I know I'm just geeked out and quoted some Civil War stuff, but that's literally what it is. You just cannot slash and burn to the sea to get to your goal. You're going to end up damaging a relationship that you're going to need later on. And I see that here for you. So the first 2 cards that came up for the month of December was the 4 of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords. And I absolutely believe you're starting off your month with some very contemplative energy, right? You're holding things very close to your chest. Things are very tight. You do want to surge forward. You do feel this energy. You want to make decisions. You want to go forward. However, you are realizing, and it's interesting because this is a very spiritual month for you guys. Let me hold on with, yeah, you have, the sun's moving through your 9th house. So this is a spiritual time for you, and that's so interesting because that's really what I was feeling. And I think what I love about this for you, because the last few months that I've been reading, you guys have just, things have been going great for you. And it's not that this month isn't going to go great for you, because astrologically that is there, the energy is there for you. But with this 9th house element, you're really having a nice spiritual moment and taking stock of what you're doing, which is good for Aries, because like I said, Aries tends to just slash and burn and go right for the sea, right? You're having to stop and reappraise that that's not always working for you. Turn that. And it doesn't always work for you. Like I said, I have several Aries friends. It is my Aries friends that sometimes I'm always like, why am I friends with them? Some of them are beautiful, and again, it depends on the rising signs. The Aries friends that I have so many, like if I look at their chart, it's so much Aries. It's almost it's so much fire, right? And fire can just burn everything in sight. So I tend to notice that. I don't want to say like blanket statement all Aries, but Aries that just really have a lot of fire in their sign can really, or sometimes even air, because air can fuel fire, right? Whoo! And I know this about them. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt when they burn you. right? When they're in their little frenzy and they disregard a lot of things, and you know they're going to come out of it. And so I think it's this moment I'm really channeling that for some of you are going, wow, this isn't always working for me. And that's the Seven of Swords, right? You're getting what you want, but you're realizing, you know what? I love this card right now for you guys. I could have had all these swords, right? But I'm being kind of sneaky and I just want what I want. Because this card's kind of dark and he's got a kind of a sneaky look, a thieving look to him. And it's not that you guys are thieving, but it's saying, you know what? I always kind of call this the tactic card. It's either the thief or the tactic card. And this is the tactic card. I'm channeling this is the tactic card for you. And what you guys are learning and understanding is that your tactics that you're currently using aren't always working out the best for you. This methodology, your pattern of behavior is not, you're realizing you could have even more if you stopped kind of what you're doing and reassess. I think this is a powerful, powerful month for you guys. And, you know, right on back on the heels of that came up, you know, the Knight of Cups. And I think really, like, it's funny when I pull that card, I'm like, you guys need to look for a sign of love. There is going to be some kind of sign of love that comes in for you that is going to reaffirm that you need to change what you're doing, right? You need to change your strategy. You need to change your tactics on how you deal with people or how you go after your goals. It's not saying don't go after your goals. It's saying you get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar, right? Work on making people your allies and not fuck them. I don't care. They don't help me, you know. And we'll talk about that because that comes up. You know what's interesting? I actually should show you all your cards. So they come up in this order. You're playing it at the beginning of the month. You are playing things very close to your chest. And I think there's a little bit of a money thing. You know, business, money, you don't want to let anyone know what you're doing. And that's actually, I think that's wise. Don't squeeze too tight, right? Because the one catch with the Four of Pentacles, although it's saying you have a good foundation, you're keeping things close to your chest. If you squeeze too tight, nothing can come in either, right? You can't get any money in either. No money's going out, but no money's coming in either. It's a little bit of it's a good foundational card, but if you hold on too long, it's a stagnation card, right? So I feel like for you guys, you're thinking of some business moves, some things, maybe a job jump, something, and you're keeping close to your chest. What this is saying is be careful as much as maybe you want to say fuck off, right? Quit this job, screw you guys, I'm out of here, you suck. It's saying be a little careful about that, right? As much as you want to tell them to shove it, someone down the road may be your ally. If you go out with class, if you handle the situation with class rather than acting like an upset, angry, spoiled child, it's going to work out for you better in the end. And to me, this night coming in with love is saying that. When you want to be angry and when you want to lash out, when you want to do that fire and burn, no, I'm going to be classy in this, right? I'm going to approach this with love. That's so interesting that came up. This has been like, that came up this month too. A friend of mine, she sent a card to relatives and they're very ungracious people. She knows that. And she got very upset that she sent another card, and it was unacknowledged. And I'm like, well, of course you are. Of course it's going to be. You're mad at getting what you know. But here's the other thing. I'm like, and I had to ask her, I'm like, when you sent that card, did you send that card with begrudging anger? Right? With begrudging feeling and thoughts in it. Like, you know what? I'm going to send this card, and even though I know I'm going to send it, I'm not going to get anything back, but I'm going to send it because I'm the better person. And she's like, yeah, that's the energy, I sent it. And I'm like, well, of course. You know, what you need to do is go, you know what? These people just don't have it. They're not gracious. They don't get it. And that's okay. I am still going to send this card with so much love in my heart. Right? I'm going to send it with so much love that one day they get it and they understand. That's how much love I'm putting in this card. And it doesn't matter whether they acknowledge it or not, because I'm going to keep sending these cards until one day they realize, right, how much that meant to them. Or maybe, I don't even know, maybe one day down the road, many years, they may say, you know what? I never said thank you, but those cards always meant so much to me. You never forgot me. You know, you never know. But sending a gift begrudgingly, don't send it at all. Right? Always send a gift. Always send things with your love in your heart. And I feel like that's kind of the same message for you guys. Do it with love in your heart. Don't do it out of anger. Don't do it out of ego and a need to lash out. Check yourself this month and make sure that it's being done out of love. And because it's a night and it's a fast-moving energy, that's tend to what nights tend to be, to me, that I'm just channeling, that's what it means. That when you're in that moment and you want to lash out and you want to be mad, take the pause. Take the pause and you think about this moment when Ruby Rose said, hey, do it with love in your heart. And you're like, okay, how do I want to say something really mean right now? Because I'm angry. But that's me saying something out of anger that I'm going to regret, that I always have to. So instead, I'm going to take a pause. And where can I find the love instead? Right? So I think that's it. And what's interesting is, I honestly feel that this is your spiritual shift this month. Because, I love this, right? Mercury is in Scorpio. Scorpio and the Death card are synonymous, right? And what's great about this is that this is something that you are leaving behind and you're not going back again. And for some of you, for some of you, and I'm going to give the alternate reading for some of you. For some of you, I think this is a lot of what I'm feeling is the spiritual thing. For some of you, though, the alternate thing that I'm channeling and I'm feeling for some of you with this Knight of Cups and some of this money and sneaking out is some of you are leaving a relationship. Which totally makes sense with everything that's been going on in Scorpio in November and October. It's these last several months have all been about relationships and assessing relationships and if they work out. And for some of you, you're going to get to December and like, I'm done. So that's going on too. And this is a relationship you're not going back to. This is a chapter that's over, that's done, and you're moving on. And some of that is reconfirmed because right after you come up with the Queen of Swords, and she's out. This is a real detachment from emotion, right? Real business-like, and you're moving on. The thing was done out of love, right? And I think this is love for self, right? And followed by the Chariot, which is, I think these cards are really interesting. Death, change, chapter is over. This Queen of Swords, she knows what she wants. She's cutting through the crap. She's going to go for it, and then followed by the Chariot card. Very, extremely powerful end to the month. Powerful end to the month. So for some of you, this continues on to me with this spiritual shift, right? There's this spiritual shift within yourself. I think this Queen of Swords for you, for a lot of you, is this spiritual shift of stop being so ego-based and being a little bit of the observer and watching what's happened rather than being so pulled in or drawn into other people's emotions or situations and having a little distance, a little separation where you're going, I just keep reacting in this same way and I keep getting what I get and I don't like that anymore. I'm kind of done with that. Right? And it's great because I think at the beginning of the month you start off with indecision. By the end of the month, you know exactly where you want to go. The Queen of Swords is there and she's cutting through all that. I love it because she's got that sword and it's just cutting through all the crap. And I hate to say a little bit too, it makes me, I'll be honest, Makes me a little nervous because it's, you know, this is at the end of the month. This card's coming up at the end of the month, which is closer to the holidays. So again, be careful. I mean, I totally encourage you, if there's a family dynamic that you're like, you know what, I'm not getting sucked into this again. I just need to cut through the crap and I need to do what's best for me. And I just don't want to be involved in this family dinner, and I'm going to go out of town for Christmas and it's going to upset some people. Absolutely, guys. In that respect, you have to do what's best for you. But do what's best for spirit and not best for ego, I think, is the best thing that I can say for you guys this month, right? Ego, trying to defend yourself, getting mad, lashing out, that's ego-based. You know, with the sun in your ninth house, putting this focus on spirituality, it is really highlighting and focusing on how you can best love and nurture your spirit, and not the ego. The ego is this little, you know, you need the ego to a certain extent. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that. But for Aries and being a Mars sign, right, you can very much quickly get drawn into that ego side, right? That fire can just get sucked into that ego. You know, what it's saying is, do all those beautiful things that are so Aries based. You're a beautiful cardinal sign. You have powerful, powerful energy. You can change the dynamics of a room when you walk in, right? Your smile can light up a room. Your frown can also bring down the whole room. You know, as someone once said, be responsible for the energy you bring in the room. And I think that's really occurring to you guys this month. You need to step up and take a little more responsibility for the energy that you're carrying around and how it affects other people. And it's not saying change who you are, like, oh, that person can't handle your energy. Well, you know, you have to change. It's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, if you know that you can change a room with your energy, then do it for the better, right? Do it for the better of everyone. You know, if you're not ready to go somewhere, you're like, I'm just not in the mood. And I know if I go to this party, I'm just going to sit in the corner and I'm just going to be angry the whole time. You know that about yourself. Or if you're like, I'm kind of in the mood, but the party might cheer me up, but I'm not really sure, I'll give it a whirl. And if I don't start changing my energy, then I'm going to go. Right? Understand. I think for you guys, come to peace with this part of yourself. I'm channeling that some of you are coming to this realization or struggling with it, or know about it, but kind of think it's everyone else's problem or whatever. And in some ways it is. I won't go on too long that I think, you know, a lot of people can't, you know, in the world in general, we have a hard time handling emotions in general. I think the world would be a lot better if we had a better relationship with our emotions. But, you know, I think for you, Aries, what I'm channeling is just a reassessment of your pattern of behavior and how you can change that so that people work with you and not against you. Oh, sorry, my heater just kicked on if it got a little loud. But yeah, you know, I think that's for you guys. You guys, your cardinal signs, you lead off the zodiac, you're tremendously powerful. And sometimes you have a fuck you energy, that's just the way I am, that goes with it, which is incredible at the same time, but also can be lonely. It can be lonely if you don't use it correctly, right? If you just push everyone away, eventually there's not going to be anyone around you, and it's not going to be their faults, you know? People will only be around for so long. So now, for those that are leaving relationships, I feel like this is absolutely what you're supposed to do. For those that are leaving a relationship that has been negative and limiting, it is absolutely time for you to break free. And you're going to go on. I mean, 2020 will be great for you then. But for the most part, you guys are going to have a really good month. I mean, like I said, astrologically wise, you guys are in a really like killer month. Know that this Jupiter and Saturn energy are a little funky and contrasting each other, and know that you may have some big spiritual epiphanies this month, and it's okay. You know, this may actually be the month that you guys pick up a book you know, that book on the shelf, that self-help book that someone gave you, like, oh, I don't want to read that, and like, and you pick it up, you know. You know, You Are a Badass is a great book. I think I read it, You Are a Manifester. So there are great self-help books I think that you can pick up. I just feel like this is the month for you guys that's just going to help you. I think this month you're going to want to be better. And I encourage that. So on that note, I wish you guys so much love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. Have an amazing holiday season. I'll probably be doing a yearly forecast here in a little while. You'll see those coming out, and if you're not a subscriber, subscribe now, and so that when I do those yearly forecasts, they'll just pop into your box right away. All right, guys, I am sending you much love. Namaste. Until next time.